G'day, good people. You won't believe where we are today. We're in the mighty Victoria Falls, Mosu Yatunya, the smoke that thunders. How great it is to be here. What a time to be alive. Today on the show, we've got Mr. Vic Falls himself, Andrew Lane. Andrew Lane is big in wildlife and conservation, in tourism and in property development here in the Victoria Falls. So we're going to hear a bit about him and what he's got to share with us. We'd also, guys, like to thank our sponsors for this episode, Vesta Properties. Vesta Properties are a property development group based here in the Vic Falls and in Harare, and they do amazing development. So we've got their link in the description below. Have a look at some of the projects they've done and that they are doing. And we also wanted to thank MegaSave, who've been a great support throughout, and we thank you for your support for all your wholesale and our hardware needs. Look at MegaSave. Good people, I'd just like to say to you, thank you for your support, and this is only possible because of you. Please do like, share, and subscribe. You know, the more likes and shares and subscriptions we get, the bigger and better the show can get. That's the reason we can be here today and keep bringing you great content and great guests. So please do your best to get this word out, and look forward to seeing more of you tuning in. All right, let's get into the episode. Cheers. Rightio, good people, we're here sitting with Andrew Lane, Mr. Vic Falls himself, the man, the myth, the legend. Mate, thank you so much for having us. It's so good to be here, and thank you for welcoming us to the Falls.
Thank you very much. Thanks for having me on the show and taking the time out, and excited. First podcast for me, so see how it goes.
Go on, I'm going to grill the hell out of you. You're in all sorts of trouble. No, thank you for agreeing to come on. So, Andrew Lane, if you don't mind, maybe just start off by telling us a bit more about yourself and your involvement here on the Falls, and just a bit about your past.
Cool. So born and bred in Vic Falls. Times have changed from when we were growing up to where we are now, with the town developing as it is. My mom was born across the river in Livingston, and she moved across here quite early, and then my dad moved here in the 70s. So we've been around the Falls for a while. After studying and traveling, I moved back here about 2015, just as the Falls was starting to develop, and I had a passion for Vic Falls itself and for development. So that's how I got into the property game. And obviously being in Vic Falls, you're also always involved in tourism somehow, somewhere.
Yeah.
So got stuck in, and we basically involved in property developments and tourism operations and products.
Well, coming back from in 2015, the Falls would have gained a big asset by you coming back. And where were you before you moved back?
I was actually on the yachts.
Okay.
So we were, in the States, and then we sailed across the ocean to French Polynesia, then down to New Zealand, and we were based down there for a while. Then I thought, no, I'm done with the yachts. When traveling Asia, and then there was an opportunity to come do a bit of wildlife stuff with my old man, and so moved back, and then just took it from there.
Hey, good on you.
Yeah.
And so you've obviously seen the world. You've been around, sailed the seven seas, and the man said no. Bloody Victoria Falls, Zambezi River is where I want to settle. This is where it's at.
Yeah.
Calling. No,
Yeah.
good. Well, look. Can we just admire the scenery, and just to be seated here, I think it's quite amazing. So the Zambezi falling right. I'm right behind you, sitting on a deck, mate. This is sensational. So we're sitting here at Baines restaurant,
Yeah.
which is what you've built.
Yeah.
Tell us a bit more about Baines, eh?
So it's it was a dream we've had that tourists want to come here, they want to see the river, they want to see the falls. That's what they're about. The product offering of other products in Vic Falls was very limited, and we just wanted to create something new, something different. We wanted to be away from the standard, just the standard stuff that was around. And we also love nature and stuff, so building it in with all of this and being creative and coming up with a very cool product. And people love to see it and love to come and enjoy.
You can see even as we drove in, it's you've done so well to protect the nature and the environment around you. You know, it's so uninvasive or unassuming. You know, just as you're driving in, if there was no big sign there, you'd probably miss it. You know, it's quite well hidden and tucked away, and then you walk in here and you see just the most amazing bloody deck and restaurant, and you know. So well done to you in terms of preserving it all and making it look as dope as it does. Just by what you've done, you know.
No, thanks very much. And that was always the goal, is to, you know, make sure it's tucked away and it's like a little hidden gem, and to keep it all wild and natural, and to enjoy the beauty of it without being a big concrete structure or anything like that. So everything's semi-permanent, and and we just built around everything, you know, keeping all the trees. See the trees going through the roof and the bar area, and just sort of doing something cool and funky and different.
The space is great, but you also treated us to a lovely lunch here today. I had the tilapia and sweet potato fries and a garden salad on the side. My goodness me, it was some of the best tilapia I've had. It was good fish, and I saw some suds on the menu as well.
Yeah.
I was like, geez, good. We must protect our heritage. You know, people must know you can come to Zim and still have suds at a restaurant.
Absolutely, and you know, from the start, we didn't want to do burgers and pizzas and wraps and the same as everything else, and that's why we came up. You know, we hired a proper chef to come in and design the menu, and she's Zimbabwean, and we said we want to throw in the Zimbabwe aspect to it. We want to have sadza, we want to have, you know, the Zambezi bream and the Zim beef T-bone or the sirloin, and have that aspect to it, but we also want to be different in terms of what we're offering. And that's how the whole menu came about.
Yeah. No, well, cheers to you. Very well done. Many a Jameson will be drunk between you and I on this trip, so I look forward to it.
Thank you very much.
And tell me, so you say your family are big into wildlife and conservation. Tell me a bit more about that. About who does that. How long you've been in that, and exactly what it is that you do. I've obviously seen you've got the Bajani Trust, and I've done a bit of reading up about that. But I think it'll be better coming from the horse's mouth. You know.
Yeah, so my dad's been in wildlife his whole life, and he's just got such a passion for it. And you know, even when he moved to Vic Falls, he had tourism companies. And then after 2008, 2009, in those tough times in Zim, the national parks here weren't great. You know, a lot of animals were poached. There's a lot of difficulties, you know, with the currency and paying the people to protect it and stuff. So he took on the one park by himself, and a few other people, you know, a few guys approached him and said, look, why don't we try fix this up? And also in Wangi National Park, he had an Australian trying to help protect the last remaining rhinos in Wangi. And he came to him and said, I need help. And my dad was a bit shocked that no Zimbabweans were sort of helping him in his mission. So Bejan Trust was founded then, I think back in 2009.
Okay.
And then it sort of rolled on from there. I mean, every couple of days you'd take 20 litres out and put it in the diesel engine in the Chamabonda National Park just up the road here on the outskirts of town, and that just grew, and then people helped and donated, and just from one diesel engine pump to protection, there's now 52 boreholes solar pumped throughout Zambezi National Park, which includes Chamabonda, Kazuma, and the one end of Wangi National Parks, Robbins and Cinematella areas.
I read somewhere today that you're pumping over like 1.5 million litres a day. You're trying to take it up to 2.
Yeah, 1.5 million litres a day. And then obviously with the drought, potential drought looming, we are trying to raise money to put a lot of these solar systems onto battery backups where we can, so that they're pumping all night. The elephant pressures is huge at the moment. And so they're trying to go from 1.5 million litres a day to 2 million by the end of, in the next few months.
So explain to me in sort of as layman's terms, I'm not an animal person, not a wildlife expert, but that water you're pumping out, so it might sound like a silly question, but that water you're pumping out, are you pumping it into sort of wells, just so that, or into sort of dams that animals can just come and drink because there's drought all around the area? Is that?
Yeah, so it's borehole pumped, and then it goes into a trough, and then from the trough it feeds, it spills over into a little pan. Some areas have got much bigger. Some areas have got little dam walls in Wangi area, so they're much bigger bodies of water. But and then over time, it's gone from a little puddle to a big pan. I think there's like 4,000 elephant that rely on this water every year. 4% of the elephant population in the world drink the water that's pumped by Baines Trust.
Really,
so,
eh?
Yeah.
So it's definitely a worthy cause to support, and when you look at it in those terms, and that when you look at
absolutely.
it like that.
And it's taken so long to really get going, but I mean it's all there to see what they've done. And I've only really got involved in the last few years when I started the Baines Ball with Roundtable 7 Victoria Falls.
Okay.
We created a function to try raise money and support it, because it was always, they were always out in the field doing the work, and it was always very little money coming in, and old Land Cruisers and that kind of stuff. So we thought, no, let's create an event and try raise some money and really push some of the sponsorships.
And have you done all right to raise some money there? Has that done well?
We've done very well. It's grown the first year, and then grew. We raised 100% on what we did the year before, and this year we're trying to go again. We're trying to double what we did last year.
What's our goal for this year?
Pretty ambitious this year, but we're trying to raise 100,000 due to the drought that's pending, and the amount of animals that rely on this, and tourism as well that rely on it, and not just that, it's the communities around the parks. So they haven't planted this year because there's been such bad rain. So we've seen the increase in poaching already, and so we're trying to.
Are you an anti-poaching unit as well?
There's an anti-poaching unit that they work with,
okay.
And then Baines Trust got an anti-poaching unit. Well, it's more like a rhino monitoring unit in Wangi National Park.
Okay.
They're monitoring the last rhino in Wangi, in the Cinematella area. So
that's properly endangered that at the moment, eh?
Yeah, it is. And I mean, there's a lot in danger with just the small poaching that's going on around just Vic Falls, and tourism relies on the wildlife and the areas around here. So, and they're doing a fantastic job. There's lots of guys helping out and stuff. So we're in a big drive now for the next month. The Baines Ball's on the 20th of July, and we're in a big drive now to raise these funds. Or if you can't give cash, how can you help? Can you give food packs for the 12 rangers for 3 months during these times? Can you donate a vehicle, or solar pumps, or solar batteries, or whatever it may be? And in cash and kind, if you can help sharing our Facebook page, small things, go a long way.
Absolutely.
And that's what we're trying to achieve with the Baines Ball that's coming up.
Well, you've heard it here first, folks. Any help would be greatly appreciated. Like Andrew says, whether in cash or in kind, or on whatever resources that you've got. I think it's I think you're doing great work, and I hope to see it supported. I hope that 100K is raised, and we will do whatever we can through this vessel of a podcast or whatever it is to try get the word out there as best as we can, because it is important, and it's needed. So well done to you guys.
No, thanks very much, and thanks for putting the appeal out there. And like I said, anything helps, and everything goes a long way. The guys on the ground are doing all the work. We just sort of are hosting an event to try and help them do what they love and what they're passionate about in the bush.
But you got me at Fundraising Ball. I love a good time. So tell me, is our ticket sold out for this? Is it all?
We got one table left, so we're just discussing this morning. We might extend it. So I'll put you down for a table, and I'll tap you afterwards for the cash.
Go on.
So
go on. Where are you hosting it? Here, at Baines.
No, this year we're hosting it at Insika Jetty site, just up the river there. They hosted it last year. They did a fantastic event. So it's also a formal event, black tie. People in Vic Falls don't like to dress up, or don't dress up too often.
Do people in the Falls own black ties, eh?
No, you'll see on the night when the white shirt and the red bow tie comes out from a bachelor party or something. That's all they've got. So we try and get everyone to dress up, and
it's nice.
Yeah, the ladies enjoy it. It's a good dress up once in a while, and then it's just a good fun. Jazz music, live music, fun events, and then all the tourism companies have come together to give prizes and donations, so we can build packages to sell on to people to raise money that way.
Yes.
Vic Falls is a very small market to keep tapping for money.
So keep asking all the time. The same.
Exactly.
The same
so
person.
Why not have a fun event and pull what you can to reach out there and get international money? If someone could, there's 3 packages in Wang, 6 nights in Wangi National Park with the best camps there are. So buy a package and support wildlife and go on the holiday of your lifetime.
A nice holiday, yeah. You know, you talk about black tie events, and Harare you'd think is littered with black tie events, but it's actually not. We probably have one or two every year. There's one called the King of the Ring. I don't know if you've been to the King of the Ring. And that's when people pull it out in their 9s and 10s and their best dress. You know, so don't be too hard on the Vic Falls folk for not having the black tie. I think it's countrywide.
I think it's a Zimbo thing.
It's a Zimbo thing.
Relevant fines will be issued. See if my my jacket still fits this year. Will be.
I'm excited to see it. Send us a photo. You know, and tell me. So Vic Falls as a community, Andrew, as a town. So you said you got back in 2015, and you said that's just as the tourism was starting to sort of climb. Tell me what it's been like in the Falls since 2015 to now 2024. What Vic Falls has looked like to you.
I mean it's come a long way in the last 9 years. It's, you know, previously there weren't many options to go, to eat out, to enjoy, to do whatever there is to do now. So and it was it was a much smaller community.
Yeah.
So we're seeing it grow quickly, and in some of these developments, and people want to move to the Falls, whether it's retired people, whether it's young people, or whether it's people looking for tourism jobs and opportunities. So there's a lot of influx of people, which is great. You know, it just adds to what's here and what's around and what's available, and it grows. You know,
do you find there's opportunity here?
Yeah, there's lots of opportunity. It's difficult. You know, don't get us wrong. And a lot of people come and say, oh, you know, Vic Falls there's opportunities everywhere, or just build a lodge and you'll be fine. But it's a very difficult place to operate in terms of finding your feet in the right circles and how to go about things and stuff. But once you do, there's certainly a lot of opportunity, and especially coming up with new things, new ideas that are there in the rest of the world, and it's
staying fresh, staying relevant.
Yeah. And once you're on it, then it's good. And
I can imagine in Vic Falls, you know, a lot of the opportunity would be in the tourism space, you know. And I might be wrong in saying this. It's my sort of assumption that you know it's obviously a town that's built around these beautiful, majestic falls that we have, you know, and it's one of the 7 wonders. So tourists want to come and see. So we try to capture revenue by all the tourists that come in. And yes, there's a community and a population here. I don't know how big the population is. What would you say? You know?
Population-wise, to be honest, I'm not sure. I don't think anyone really knows. There was a census done. I think it was 40-something thousand. But even that, it's it's quite a high number.
It's a high number, and I can imagine the amount of tourists that are coming in here every year is great. So it's just about capturing that as best as we can. But if you think there's any other opportunities besides that, I'll be curious to sort of hear, and there mightn't be. You know, I'll just be curious to hear.
But I mean, there's a lot of opportunity. Everything's centered around tourism as a tourism destination. You know, so the tourism companies need building materials with 17 new lodges open since COVID, between lodges and camps. There's opportunities there. There's opportunities to come in as a specialist, as a building or a contractor. Or, so it is centered around tourism, but the industries are expanding. You know, also where all these people are going to live. That's where you come in with the housing developments, and which we recently finished on one of them, and around that, and you keep expanding from that. So a lot of it is tourist centered, but it's now growing out, which it never really has. Property prices have doubled in the last 9 years. So, you know, and that just shows, and demand as well.
So obviously the demand is high. For your building raws and materials, do you bring a lot of from across the river there, or do you get a lot from Harare and still South Africa? Like the rest of Zim.
Look, a lot of the raw materials come from Wangi, Bulawayo, Harare, and then you get some of the specialized stuff from South Africa that you can't get locally. We don't really get much from Zambia. It's all around, but that's what makes building a little bit more expensive in the Falls. It's all the transport costs and the additional stuff. So it does hike the price a bit, but seeing the development in prices in Harare, I'm not sure if we're too far off that either.
Too far off. But even just talking about tourism, you know, just as we sit here, you can hear the constant buzzing of helicopters, you know, above us, and that's obviously all the tourists having a look out of the falls. But even at the airport, you know, we see the amount of direct flights that are coming into the falls these days. You know, you see flights from Cape Town and straight from Joburg, and is there one from Kenya? Did I see one from Kenya?
Yeah, so Nairobi, Ethiopia, Kruger National Park, Maun, Kasane, Joburg, Cape Town. There's even a direct flight, well, it's not direct, it's via Windhoek from Europe on Eurowings. So the airport was completed 2017, 2018, somewhere around there, and it's been a game changer. You know, it really has. We've gone from 3 airlines pre-COVID or something, or maybe 3 or 4. We're now on 10 different airlines, which some are flying 2-3 times a day. You know, FastJet 3 times from Joburg. So all of a sudden, in one day, you got 15 flights landing in Vic Falls.
It just goes to show how much more attraction there is to the falls in the recent times, you know, and how people are wanting to come here and be here and I guess experience it, you know.
It is, and Vic Falls is a unique place. You know, obviously the waterfall and the national parks around, and then Wangi and the proximity to the Delta and and Chobe and all these other places. And agents are really pushing Zim. You know, and guests love coming to Zim. The Zimbabweans are friendly, they're open, they're welcoming, and that's what tourists want to be, and they want to feel safe. And there's still a bit of a stigma out there in some far corners that Zim's a dangerous place, and then people come here and they're just like, this is not what I expected. And
you can walk. You mean you can walk the town there middle of the night, and you get
well,
safe,
just watch out for elephants and buffalo. But other than that, you're pretty safe. And
is that a genuine issue? Elephant and buff, eh?
Yeah, it's
do people get mauled?
There's been a few incidences, so...
that's scary there. Just walking Main Street and g'day, it's the elephant, eh?
There it is.
Is it?
Yeah. But it's part of the whole thing, and you know, the wildlife in town and the warthogs and the bushbuck and everything, the tourists love it.
Special, eh?
Obviously, some tourists are tourists and they try to get too close and clever, and sometimes they get a bit of a mock charge and maybe... just a bit of a warning.
Would you say it's ripe for investment, the Vic Falls, eh?
It is. It's definitely, you know, the opportunities are there. Again, it's just being different, being unique in what you're doing and what you're investing in. But the opportunity is here. And Vic Falls is not stopping. It's not slowing down. It's not being capped. The growth will continue. More people will come. The airlines will get busier. Agents are selling this place like you can't believe.
Really?
There's big organizations coming together to sell the region as a destination. So, you know, come to Southern Africa and come to the Kaza region. So,
and what sort of people do you find are investing here in the Falls? What's your main demographic of investment coming in?
I would still say majority of it is Zimbabwean, with the majority of the Zimbabweans being Harare.
Okay.
Trying to, you know, just diversify maybe, or chase the foreign dollar, or just have something else, and have a piece of the pie of what Vic Falls has got to offer. Yeah, it's also quite a nice getaway to leave the big smoke and come to Vic Falls to check on things, and
I think it's a bit of a no-brainer for anyone in Zim with some excess cash, or even not excess, but it is an investment opportunity to come and look at the falls, you know, because it's because like you said, the investment coming in, the tourism coming in, it's and what you said, the property prices doubled in the last how many years did you say?
Well, in the last 9 years, I'd say they've pretty much doubled.
Which is. And property prices in Zim don't really seem to ever go down, hey, and they don't ever really seem to dip. Like once they go up, they really stay there and they carry on rising. Eh?
Absolutely, and it's got to be capped at some stage. I don't know.
Or when's the bubble going to burst? They say.
Yeah, and I see some properties. I'm like, they'll never sell for that, and next thing it's sold. Or some sit on the market for months and months and months, but then all of a sudden they get their price. It's like, okay, well, it's still going then, and so it's interesting to see.
What I think you often find is that because a lot of people in Zim buy their houses in cash, you know, it's a store of value for their money. Okay. And so people are not going to exit when they want to sell at a lower margin than what they bought it at, right? Or at a lower price than what they bought it at. So the price won't go down unless we can get mortgages at a good interest or whatever it is. But because it's people's cash and it's people's value, like people are willing to sort of sit on it and just wait until they get the right buyer, no matter how long that takes. I don't know what you think.
No, absolutely. And also in developments where a developer can offer a client 2-year payment terms, you know, where it's difficult to get mortgages from the bank, and a client's farming and his season's coming up or something, he needs to put it somewhere.
Yeah.
Putting it into a property or an asset in Vic Falls is makes sense for them. And so they can just sit and hold on the price. Vic Falls is also very limited. We're surrounded obviously by the river on the one side, national parks on the other two sides, the gorges on that side. So it's a bit of a bubble, and you can't really expand too far out, because then you start going into the national parks and things. So
what's there is really, it becomes so much more valuable.
The more demand, obviously, there is for people wanting to move here, the higher the prices are going to go. So yeah, the prices aren't going to go down, but at what point do they?
At what point do they stop?
Do they be capped? But also, there's no land available to just buy a stand like you.
Is land basically done here? Eh? Can you not get land?
There's some that comes out here and there, but the waiting lists, low, medium, and high density, are huge. I mean, they're into the thousands.
Who's that waiting list to? So who do you?
City council.
So all this land is owned by council in Falls, or all of the vacant land that's left would be owned by council?
It's mixed between national parks, but city council and everything. But for housing and residential use, it's all under city council. And guys are going past the grid towards the airport now into Wangi rural district land and Chiefs land and stuff, as Vic Falls is becoming too expensive to live, or they're wanting to build a little something out there and just be a little bit out of town. But it is surrounded, and there's no land available to buy, to build. So yeah, the demand will still be there as long as...
And the demand will carry on climbing,
Yeah.
We're going to take a quick break there, Andy, and just thank our sponsors. But we'll be back shortly. Welcome to the breathtaking beauty of Victoria Falls, where the magic of nature meets luxurious living. Nestled in the exclusive Victoria Falls estate, Driftwood, a complex of 10 houses just 2.1 k's from the vibrant city centre, presents two exquisite 3-bedroom, 2.5 bathroom homes, each with a charming semi-detached cottage. Imagine waking up to the majesty of the falls, a symphony of nature right at your doorstep. Victoria Falls is not just the wonder of the world, it's also becoming a bustling business hub where people are making big investments. From thriving industries to flourishing opportunities, this is the place to be for those seeking growth and prosperity. Invest in more than just a home. Invest in a lifestyle. Vic Falls offers adventure, tranquility, and unparalleled beauty. From thrilling safaris to relaxing sunsets, every day is an opportunity for a new experience. Don't miss your chance to own a piece of paradise. Contact us now and make your dream of owning a home in Victoria Falls a reality. Live the extraordinary. Live in Vic Falls. Just talking about property, there's a lovely new development that's gone up here in the Falls. I went to go visit it today, which is 94 units. The VFE, the Victoria Falls Estate. Tell me a bit more about that and your involvement with it, and a bit about its conception and its and how it's gone.
So 2017, roughly about there, a friend of mine and I were looking at sort of property, and the housing was just taking off, and there were new plots coming available. We just said, there's a need for more housing and more affordable housing and different types of housing, because everything was the old town and run down, and we found a good piece of land on 5.5 hectares, and we approached Cardinal Corporation, as it was then, and we pitched this investment and opportunity, and they came on board, and from then we started on all the permits and paperwork and all that, and the design and the fun parts of it. And since COVID, we then obviously we came on board with Vesta, what Cardinal handed over to Vesta, and we worked with Vesta Properties, and it was a very fun project. We had to look at all the sort of what's available, and so we came up with what is now the Victoria Falls Estate. So it's 4 different clusters. Cluster 1 being the yard, so 2-bedroom flats, first floor, ground floor flats, and first floor flats. There were 34 of those. Those were very popular. Good price range, nice product, lock and go. So those sold quite quickly. We then moved on to cluster 2, the contours, which are double-story attached.
When you say those sold quite quickly, how quickly are we talking, eh?
Yeah, look, they went. Well, I mean, they were the first to be sold out, I would say. A lot of interest, a lot of people looking for exactly that in terms of price range and a bit of a payment plan, and the product was great. It was a nice open plan development with a little bit of a garden and a balcony. Nice trees, nice open spaces as well. So yeah, it was popular. And then went on to cluster 2, the contours. They were double-story, 3-bedroom homes attached.
Yeah.
And there were 30 of them. You could have the option to add a swimming pool in your garden or not. Again, nice big open spaces, greenery, lots of trees. We try to keep all the trees in the development. Central parking.
I just want to say, like I went there today, and the trees and stuff, the way that's been preserved, it's like you're driving into I don't know. It's like almost like into a Zimbabwe in Mhlanga. It's like it looks so beautiful. But so cleanly done and so well done. But also you can feel that you're in the falls. And you've got that feeling around you.
Yeah, and that's where Vesta were brilliant. And all of us had the same sort of mindset of preserve the trees, make it Vic Falls living. You don't want to come here and it's a concrete jungle with car parks everywhere and there's one tree sticking in the corner. And Vesta, played around and designed it all around that, make sure the green belts were there and the spaces, and so it was a fantastic project to be a part of it, to work with, and it's come out really nicely at the end. And then the contours have all sold, and then from there we went on to cluster 3, which are 20 standalone bungalows, 3-bedroom, slightly bigger gardens, swimming pools, smaller part of it, and those were, if not the most popular to the yard, they were definitely close second.
Is that where you live?
Yes.
In cluster 3?
Yeah. Yeah. So.
And those sold out straight away, eh?
They sold very quickly. Yeah. Fewer of them, but they were very popular as well. And nice products. They're good for rentals. They're good for family to live in. They're good for Airbnbs. They're good. So it was a good opportunity.
And then now cluster 4?
So in cluster 4, the driftwoods, there were 10 of them. Those are the more upmarket, the villas, as we'd say.
Yeah.
So they were similar design to cluster 3, but bigger properties, swimming pool, nice gardens, lots of trees in that area, and they've got quite a bit more to them.
Really.
Little self-catering cottage on the side of it. Double door garages, so they're really beautiful properties.
I went into those driftwood properties today.
Yeah.
My goodness me, are they sensational! It's and I was just speaking to Adam, who's the estate manager there.
Yeah.
And you're saying most people that have bought there are not buy there and they live in Harare, or they it's more often obviously a store of value and investment, but none of those are Airbnbs, or those are just people's homes that they've decided to have a home in the falls and have kept it there, but they're beautiful, hey. They're just and so out of those, so how many units are left there?
So there were 10 originally, and there are 2 left, and I think they're the only 2 units in the whole development
94.
that's left. Yeah, and
Really?
so they've only sort of recently moved off and tidied up all around. All the builders are now off site and stuff. So
now it's officially done, and now
it's all officially done.
No, but well done for being a part of a development like that. It's obviously a flagship here in the Victoria Falls. I've not seen anything like it. It's a special place. So it's very well done.
No, thanks very much. And it's really cool, and it's something that's needed. You can see all the units are full already. People have moved in, and it's really, it's come to life, the whole estate. But Vesta have been brilliant in the whole thing of from design, concept, build, the whole lot, and then working with some good builders. So I learned a hell of a lot from these guys, and it was just a good team to be a part of, which has been fun.
Well, not to be biased, but I've actually recently joined Vesta on properties on the heading up their sales and marketing side. And this is my first weekend, but very excited for it. It's obviously a great company to be a part of and associated with. And I'm really excited for the projects that they've currently got and the ones to come. I think it's great to be part of a group like that.
No, it is, and I think it's exciting things to come for you as well. I mean, you'll learn so much, and just to be a part of that team, and it's exciting. There's so much going on, whether it's just with Vesta and everyone else.
Yeah.
Vic Falls, Harare, and countrywide as well. So yeah, all the best with them. I'm sure. No doubt you'll have fun.
What are some of the key things you've sort of learned over these last 9 years of being back? Just in yourself, if you could speak back to 9 years ago, Andy, and give him a piece of advice from Andy now, what would you tell him?
Probably would have borrowed more money and bought more properties.
Is it, eh? Really?
With the way things are going and the prices that were there and what was on offer there to what they're selling for now, but no, it's.
How did you get going to buy your first property, eh?
It was all just through business, really. My folks have a few properties, and I was managing theirs and helping them, and just learning from that, and then joining on with Cardinal and Vesta early on, and learning from them, and then we did all these, we did these business courses, and we were part of, just surrounded by businessmen and guys, and you're always learning and picking information from them where you can and what you can pick up, and then taking it from there. When stands came available from council and one was on offer, I had my name down and bought that, built a little bit of it, developed it. The prices went up, sold it, and then moved on to the next one, and we've just sort of rolled on from there. Of that.
You had said a piece of advice you'd give yourself is to take more loans and buy more properties to 99. That was 9 years ago. I want to ask what's your position on taking loans in an environment like Zimbabwe, which has such a high interest rate, to buy an asset like property? Would you say yes, go for it, or sort of hold your horses? What would your piece of advice be there?
It's a tough question, and I think the loans are just. I mean, it's sad, really. It's a pity that we don't have access to mortgages and loans like we should be, because there's so much that I want to do, but it's just like, it's steep, it's heavy, and so it definitely wouldn't be from a bank at this rate.
Yeah.
But then even then, getting money elsewhere would also come with a loan of some sort.
Yeah.
And whether it comes from outside or inside or whatever. So, yeah, it's a tough one, and it's difficult for youngsters trying to break the property market and stuff.
So you'd say it's almost impossible. Like how do you save up 700 grand? Over how long? At what age do you get to when you get to that level?
I would say it's pretty close to impossible. But then you look around and there's so many young people doing so well.
That's it.
So it's like, it's great to see, and it's there. So, if people are clever in their businesses and successful with what they do, they're able to buy these properties. There are deals that come along once in a while, and people are able to grab them and snatch them and run with it.
Well, I think in general Zimbabwe is quite, and I say this with a heart, knowing that it's not easy for everyone, and that everyone's circumstance and situation is different. But I think Zimbabwe is quite ripe for opportunity, with opportunity, and I see people in many different fields, and guys my sort of age and our sort of demographic who have just absolutely elect it, whether it's in farming or in development or in mining itself, or starting up a bloody restaurant, car wash business. Mm-hmm. There's guys that have done very well, and for me, I'm so chuffed to see young Zimbabweans moving back. The amount of Zimbabweans or guys that went to uni elsewhere and have moved back into Harare, it's bloody awesome, and I'm sure you're seeing it in the Falls with the amount of people coming in.
Yeah, there's been a major influx of people moving to the Falls and Harare, and that I know of moving back, and like I said, the opportunity is there. I think you've got to come back with something. You've got to come back with a little bit of money or a plan to do something, to be able to create these. And it's not easy. You work hard, you work the long hours to create something for yourself. And if I've seen people who haven't made it and have tried really hard. But then on the other hand, you see quite a lot of people who have and have done really well. So yeah, the opportunities are definitely there.
Yes.
It's just how you go about it and how you take it and run with it.
So Wednesday night in the Victoria Falls, heavy tourist destination. Tell me, where are we going tonight, Andrew? What is exciting about this town?
Well, where are the options and what time of night are you talking? Because my watering hole up the river here, I suppose, is the local Victoria Falls Boat Club.
Okay.
So it's a members only type thing, which is quite nice. We escape from the tourism side of it to get a bit of a break.
So is that open now?
Yeah, it'll be open now. And then there's so many nice places. The sun's setting. You go and watch the buffalo and elephant coming into the water. I'll have a drink. There's the Three Monkeys, and they've just opened a new gin distillery. There's the River Brewing, so you can try all of that sort of stuff. And then later, a few whiskeys in, and you really want to see a little bit of a local party, and you go down to Shoestrings. That's been going for 20-something years.
The legendary
Shoestrings. Yeah, there's a lot of memories there, and
I think everyone's got a story at some point to tell about Shoestrings. Hey, that's a national heritage site. That's a landmark.
It is, yeah. It's a monument for sure.
And tell me about the community here. Tell me about what your community looks like, and the community of people that you've got in the falls.
I mean, the community's, it's ever growing, it's changing the whole time with more people coming and more places opening up for different people to go and experience and enjoy. And
do you find it's quite cliquey?
Very cliquey. Yeah, it's quite difficult. And a lot of new people find it difficult to break in, and people are just set in their ways, I suppose, or they got their little friend group, and that's how it is. So it is quite difficult. But there's a lot more going on, and obviously Vic Falls is breeding for the nation as well. So the school's flying and doing well, and so many people with little kids running around. So
that's school pumping, eh?
Yeah. So I mean, when I was there, there was one small field, and it's now it's grown huge. So
awesome.
there's a lot of people there. So there's all the different family things to do now as well, and all the different groups. So yeah, it's tough, but things are there to do, and people will find their feet and stuff.
It seems it seems like as cliquey as you might say it is. It does seem like a small family here. It does seem like
it is, and that's what's great about it is when something happens or there's whatever it might be, that the community come together quite quickly. And support each other and help each other, and there's a few breaks in it here and there of as it would naturally happen, but generally it comes together, like raising funds for Baines Trust and our ball that's coming up next month. Everyone's banded together and thrown in prizes and pushed people to buy tickets and come and support, and everyone goes to the park, so they all like, well, we go there, we want to support it. So,
absolutely.
So they do come together when it's needed.
Well done, and it's great to be here and experience it all. And like I said, we just thank you so much for having us here and giving us this time, this brief, this lowdown about what the Vic Falls is about, and a bit about your story. Andy, I don't know if you've got any final words you would like to say. If you do, this is your camera.
No pressure.
No pressure.
Thanks.
But if you want to raise awareness for anything, if you want to talk about anything in a bit more depth, the camera's all yours. Yeah.
No, thanks very much. Yeah, thanks for coming. Thanks for reaching out and getting me on your podcast. It's been awesome. My first one, so we'll see how it comes out.
You've done great.
But, no, thanks, and just please, if you can, get behind Baines Trust and the Baines Ball, raising money for the drought relief coming up, and just supporting wildlife and also the communities around the wildlife areas, which is also what we're trying to incorporate into it now as well. come and enjoy all that Vic Falls has to offer, and there is so much on offer. So
Amen, baby.
yeah,
Amen.
Good.
And if you're over in the Falls, make sure you come and you visit here at Baines. And we're just about to head over to the boat club for a 1, 2, 3. Do I have to wear a collared shirt, or you're right?
No, I think you're safe without a collared shirt.
All right, okay. Well, bloody Andy, it's good to meet you, and it's
Good to meet you too.
and like I said, thank you very much for having us on the show.
Thank you very much.
Thank you for coming on the show. Rather. See, I'm getting nervous.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, we'll definitely see you next time, and thank you guys. Thank you for your continued support. Please do like, share, and subscribe, and we'll see you next time. Cheers, ciao, 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 bye.